Hello there everyone and welcome to a new installation of Chiichanny Draws. Today I'm going to be doing a Patreon request reward. On my Patreon I'm doing a reward request every month for certain tiers, and this is one of them. She wanted me to draw her OC Aya, and I've drawn her previously in the past. You can see another video of that. And her original Pokemon, like her key Pokemon, is an Espeon, so I decided to draw her OC in an Espeon Kigurumi because I thought that would be quite cute. So anyway, I'm using a new program today. It's called Clip Studio Pro, also known as Clip Studio Paint, I think. But anyway, it's a new program. I recently got it. It was about £13.50. I've never used it before, but I heard reviews saying it was kind of similar to what's it called? Manga Studio. And I've used that once before, and someone said that it was quite similar to Paint Tool Sai as well, so I thought, okay, so I'll give this a try, because, you know, it is quite cheap, so that's alright. And so that's what I'm using. I'm doing sketching and lining at the moment. Don't mind that weird video that you saw just a moment ago. I was watching a Rooster Teeth podcast. I am a Rooster Teeth fan. And so, you know, I like to sometimes listen to a podcast while I draw, or I listen to music. It kind of depends on how I'm feeling at the time. So yeah, anyway, so I did all the lining in this. You are actually going to see me switch to another program halfway through this video, and the reason as to why will be explained as the video goes on. So yeah, I'm just finishing up the lining here, adding some more depth in the lines and giving some more variation in line thickness and just making it look a bit more interesting. So once that's all done and dusted, then we go into selecting the area to colour, which is what you're going to start seeing in just a moment. When I start selecting to colour, I usually start with well, depending on the program, sometimes I'll have a base underneath and I'll use that and then do clipping layers, but seeing as this was quite straightforward, I thought I'd try it. And using here, trying to select the area, what I didn't realise was that it does leave a slight pixelation of like an edge in some places, which was kind of annoying, and it doesn't select everything either, even if I'm selecting it, so little problems. I don't like the select pen tool. I don't like the green. It's kind of, I don't know, it's kind of hard to see because as soon as you let go of it, it, you know, disappears, unlike Paint Tool Sai, where the blue is constant. The blue is the area that you select, so it's a lot easier to tell what you're doing. But you know, I let it slide and I kept continuing on. It's like, yeah, okay, we'll just go through with this and keep going. So I'm doing all the colours in a separate layer like I normally do. You do skin in one layer, eyes in one layer, mouth and teeth in one layer, or the eyes and the teeth on one layer. And I was just bringing up a reference because I forgot what eye colour she was. So yeah, you can just see me colouring in. I do some stuff manually and I do some stuff with the select tool. It depends on if it's like a large area or if it's fiddly to get to. And you could see me there, just on the side, trying to figure out how in the hell do you lock layer transparency, because the little lock is just to lock the layer itself, and some of them don't do what they look like they should be doing, so more frustration. And it took me a while to figure out the, you know, pen pressure and sensitivity. I'm using the exact same tool that I would normally use in Paint Tool Sai, but the difference is quite drastic. It comes out really washed out, and I was starting to get kind of annoyed with it. And you can see that when I start like removing stuff and trying to make it thicker, trying to make it darker, trying to do this, you know, like, please work. You're starting to get on my nerves. And then, yeah, so like it starts to look a bit better, so I'm like, okay, yeah, this is working, this is okay. Figuring out the blur tool and try to have it not smear my work all over the place like it was doing at first. It's like, yeah, it's starting to look better. Do the airbrushing, because I don't really use many tools at all when I do drawing, because there's just no need. So, you know, I'm kind of starting to feel like, yeah, you know, this is looking alright. It's looking half decent, that's not so bad. But when I finished it, I really didn't like it. Like, at all. I just didn't like the way it came out. It was so different from normal. And like, trying to find out where things were, you could see me flicking backwards and forwards in different menus, trying to find things which are normally really easily labeled, but for some reason in this program they're just really awkward to find. So it was quite frustrating, and I was getting kind of annoyed at the fact that I had spent money on this program, you know, at a program that's normally about £60, and it's not quite working as expected. It's a completely different experience, which, you know, not overly fond of, if I'm honest. So yeah, this is me just doing my usual gradients, airbrush, add this and that, do this and that. But I'll let you enjoy the rest of it for just a moment. So yeah, that's it done. I don't like the program. Do I recommend Clip Studio to anyone? If you want something in between Paint Tool SAI and Photoshop, yeah, I think this is a good program for you. Or if you do lots of comic books all the time, this is probably a good program for you because it has a lot of presets for comic books. Me, on the other end, I'm probably more likely to do comic books in a more traditional method rather than keep using brushes. Anyway, yeah, so as you saw there, I adjusted the actual line art itself. I was trying to do that for so long in Clip Studio and I couldn't find the option for it. It wasn't giving me the option. I just couldn't find out how you move the lines around. So sadly, I had to take the lines as a PNG file and take them into Paint Tool SAI. So that means I definitely had to do the coloring on a clipping mask, you know, just because I couldn't do it any other way. And now you can see me using my you know, general coloring method that I would normally use on Paint Tool SAI, and this is what I mean with the select tool. All selected areas appear blue. It's a very striking color, but at least you know what it is that you're selecting. So from the base layer, I add lots of layers on top in all different colors. So, you know, hair, kigurumi, eyes, eye white, teeth, mouth area, skin, jewel. I always do that on all separate layers, just because it's, you know, it's much easier to edit and adjust work in separate layers. You are less likely to make a mistake. Yeah, and even the ears, I did that on a separate layer as well. Okay, now for the shading, I start a new layer, I put that onto layer clip as well, and then I go over in a usual purple hue, like a grade purple, and then I start shading. Just because, you know, skin colors aren't, or shading is never exactly a straight color or like a darker version of a color that you use. I often find it's better to use a singular color for shading so that you get a more accurate effect across everything, and it usually looks a lot nicer. I mean, already you can see that using just the brush tool, by the way, I only ever use 4 tools. Well, between 4 and 5, it depends on what I'm doing, but I never use more than 5 when it comes to my Paint Tool SAI work. I use the pen tool, the brush tool, the blurring tool, the airbrush tool, and those are my key 4. And then for sketching and sometimes for tiny detailed work, I will use the pencil tool. And that's it. That is all I use. Just blur, brush, airbrush, pen, and sometimes pencil, and that's it. But I have so many layers, I mean, you can say like the layer count has got drastically high. But funny enough, I use the exact same brush types as I did in Clip Studio, and the outcome is insanely different. I also noticed that, you know, the opacity of colors and, you know, the way the colors work inside of SAI are a lot stronger. They're not so washed out. But, you know, anyway, with that aside, you know, I'm gonna stick with Paint Tool SAI just because it's my preferred program. And if you want to know more about my work, please just message me, or, you know, ask or request it for another video, and I'm more than happy to, you know, give you more in-depth as to how I do work. So yeah, this is the finished result compared with the other one, and I must say that I do prefer SAI overall. But thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask. Thank you so much.